You log into your digital classroom, start your session, and are immediately met with this isolating reality, a grid of muted black screens. You throw out a broad, unstructured question to the room. Does anyone have questions? And you get absolutely nothing back, just total silence. Part of this is a mechanical stamina problem. Staring passively at a screen for an hour drains a student's cognitive battery much faster than sitting in a physical classroom. But there is also a severe psychological barrier at play, known as the spotlight effect. When you ask an open question, students feel intense pressure that any wrong answer will be magnified to the entire class. Rather than risk public failure, they freeze. We can bypass both the stamina drain and the spotlight effect using the structure shown in this layout, a 5-step daily engagement routine. Sustained student engagement is the result of a carefully designed system of low-stakes interactions. It does not require a magnetic on-camera personality. Step 1 of the routine is the pre-class warm-up. The objective is to get students interacting in the digital room before the lesson officially begins. Exactly 3 minutes before your scheduled start time, post a low-stakes, non-academic prompt in the chat. Ask them to rank their favorite snack or debate a harmless topic. Getting a student to type anything at all defeats the isolation barrier. It removes the friction of that first interaction and builds the initial micro-motivation required for the harder academic work to come. Once the session begins, we move to step 2, the interactive hook. Within the first 5 minutes, you transition the room from social warm-up directly into academic focus. Here are 2 primary tools for the hook. On the left, native platform polls. On the right, external applications that generate dynamic word clouds. Use native polls for pure speed and reducing friction. Opt for external tools to drive visual brainstorming. Securing early, anonymous input changes the dynamic of the room. A student who votes in a poll at minute 5 is significantly more likely to speak up on microphone at minute 30. To prevent cognitive fatigue during the core lesson, we apply step 3, the 10 and 2 micro-lecturing rule. This timeline visualizes the constraint. 10 sequential minutes of direct instruction must be followed by 2 minutes of active participation. But zooming into this active window reveals a failure point. Fast typists flood the chat, discouraging slower processing students from participating. To fix this, we use a controlled execution method called the chat cascade. The mechanical rule is simple. Give the class a prompt, ask them to type their answers into the chat box, but explicitly forbid them from pressing enter until you finish a synchronized countdown. Because all the answers appear at once, nobody is comparing their speed against their peers. This protects students who process information slower and completely removes the fear of public comparison. This artificial pacing mechanism democratizes the digital classroom, providing a true, uninfluenced metric of how well the entire class comprehends the material. Step 4 is collaborative application, which requires moving students out of the main digital room and into smaller breakout groups. Standard screen sharing usually leaves one student working. A collaborative whiteboard interface enables multiple students to move their cursors and contribute simultaneously. There is a critical procedural safety step here. You must paste the whiteboard access link into the main chat before initiating breakout rooms, or students will lose access to the link. When the groups return, we execute step 5, the actionable exit ticket, deployed in the final 3 minutes of the class period. This mock-up shows the exact format, a simple 2-question digital form asking students what they learned and what remains confusing. This final step closes the operational loop. You turn subjective feelings about how the class went into objective data to build tomorrow's lesson. Looking back at our fully assembled blueprint, the psychological barriers that cause online silence have been systematically dismantled. The initial state of disconnected, muted screens is rapidly replaced by a dynamic reality of continuous, structured interaction. Overcoming student apathy requires specific tools deployed to neutralize specific fears. It does not rely on generating enthusiasm. You do not need to rewrite your entire syllabus today. Pick one single step from this routine and implement it in your very next teaching session.